flight trackers have spotted a significant movement of military aircraft to bases in and near the Middle East. We're talking F-16s, F-22s, F-35s. All in all, around 50 fighter jets have been sent over in the past 24 hours or so. They joined submarines, warships, 100 support and intelligence aircraft, you name it. That's in addition to the USS Gerald Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, which will join the USS Abraham Lincoln. And some say U.S. strikes on Iran could come as soon as this weekend, or even this week, if talks break down. Meanwhile, Iran, joined by Russian forces, is set to continue Navy drills together this week. And inside of Iran, the leadership continues its crackdown on dissidents, leading protesters to renew their pleas to President Trump for help. Are these latest movements just a show of force to remind Iran of American might and to accept negotiations? Or has the Trump administration decided it's time to move with decisive action? Joining me now is Congressman Bera, who sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for being here tonight. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt spoke to this issue earlier today. I want to listen to what she had to say and get your reaction on the other side.
There's many reasons and arguments that one could make for a strike against Iran. The president had a very successful operation as commander-in-chief with Operation Midnight Hammer, as you know, as you just said, totally obliterated Iran's nuclear facilities. The president has always been very clear, though, with respect to Iran or any country around the world, diplomacy is always his first option, and Iran would be very wise to make a deal with President Trump and with this administration.
Congressman, the White House has given Iran ample time to negotiate in good faith, but what are the thoughts from you about how long diplomacy should be as a preferred path forward rather than a show of force, or is force necessary at this point?
You know, depends on what the intended outcome is. If this is about reducing the nuclear threat, well, you know, the actions taken last year by Israel and the United States have very much diminished the nuclear threat there. I would take the negotiating route. On the other hand, if it's about regime change, if it's about supporting the protests that are taking place, the people of Iran, I would not go in militarily. I would use covert operations to support the people of Iran.
A congressional source confirms to NewsNation that two of your colleagues, Representatives Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna, Republican and Democrat, will force a vote on a war powers resolution regarding Iran next week. Have you been a part of those conversations? And if yes, do you plan on supporting that resolution?
I've not been a part of those conversations, but those votes have come to the floor multiple times, and I've supported those votes. The president, if he is going to use military force in Iran, should come to Congress, brief us. I'm on the Intelligence Committee. We've not been briefed. We've gotten reports, but the administration has not come to us and identified what the imminent threat is. If there's not an imminent threat to the homeland, to the United States, he should work with Congress on what this looks like. A war in Iran is not the same thing as the military operation that just took place in Venezuela. This could be bad. This could be prolonged. I don't think the American people are ready for another prolonged war in the Middle East.
You know, the people of Iran have suffered for decades under this regime. This regime started off its power by kidnapping Americans and holding them hostage for 400+ days. If the United States doesn't take this opportunity to back the Iranian people against this regime that is blood of thousands of Americans on their hands, what do we do next? What are the consequences of not intervening here?
So again, I'm not against supporting regime change. I would think about using covert methods and operations. Now, again, that may be taking place. The CIA has not briefed the Intelligence Committee on this. To my knowledge, maybe the Gang of Eight is read in on what the intentions are. I do think if they are going to go in, and this is their intent, it's better off done with the full support of Congress and getting the people of the United States ready, because it could be a longer-term military action.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.